Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. Former WWE star Maven recently revealed that Triple H was treated differently by the locker room in the early 2000s. The cerebral assassin was known to have a lot of pull back in the day due to his relationship with Stephanie McMahon, but Maven squashed a rumor about it. Triple H became a main event player in WWE before his relationship with Stephanie went public. He stayed at the top from the Attitude Era to the Ruthless Aggression Era before starting taking a backseat in the 2010s. He would then have an executive role and begin taking charge of creative in 2022. On a recent episode of Cafe de Reen, one fan asked Reen Dupree and Maven if the locker room hated Hunter in the early 2000s. The Tough Enough winner and current YouTuber admitted that it wasn't true, but people were on edge when speaking to the game due to his connections to the bosses. Despite winning a lot of world titles during his time in the main event scene, Triple H put over talent, especially at WrestleMania. He lost to stars such as Chris Benoit, Batista, John Cena, Randy Orton, Daniel Bryan, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins. In the same episode of Cafe de Reen, Maven praised Triple H's ability to make mid-card wrestlers look like $1 million against him. He also pointed out Hunter's pacing, which was second to none back then. In the ever-evolving world of professional wrestling, certain figures stand above the rest, creating legacies that leave an indelible mark on the business. Triple H, also known as The Game, is one such figure. His influence on WWE is undeniable, spanning decades and touching nearly every corner of the company's operations. From his early days as a blue blood to becoming a multi-time world champion and ultimately leading WWE's developmental system, Triple H has been central to the growth and transformation of the industry. However, it wasn't always smooth sailing for Triple H in the eyes of his fellow WWE stars, especially in the backstage atmosphere where alliances, politics, and egos often dictate the flow of career trajectories. In a candid revelation, former WWE superstar Maven recently opened up about Triple H's treatment by his colleagues during his time in WWE, calling attention to how everyone seemed to kiss his asterisk and why this phenomenon occurred. Maven, who gained fame as the winner of the first ever Tough Enough reality competition and went on to have a solid run in WWE, spent enough time in the locker room to witness firsthand the dynamics that unfolded between WWE's upper management and its talent. His words weren't simply those of a disgruntled veteran. They spoke to the underlying power structures and the sometimes unspoken realities of the wrestling world. Triple H's rise in WWE was not instant. Early in his career, he was placed in various gimmicks, most notably as Hunter Hearst Helmsley, a rich, aristocratic heel who would go on to become one of the most powerful figures in wrestling history. He initially struggled to break out of his mid-card status, but everything changed when he was paired with Shawn Michaels and became part of the infamous D-Generation X faction. D-Generation X was a seismic shift in WWE's entertainment value in the late 1990s. The faction was rebellious, edgy, and did everything that was seen as the antithesis to the clean-cut faces of the company. The success of DX was also the starting point for Triple H's gradual rise to the top. His relationship with Shawn Michaels and the creative freedom he was allowed during the Attitude Era laid the groundwork for his future success. However, it was during his time with DX that Triple H began to develop the backstage power that Maven alluded to in his recent comments. Maven's comments were a direct reference to the complex and sometimes toxic nature of backstage politics that have been rampant in wrestling promotions, including WWE. While many of the company's top stars have to walk a fine line between competing for opportunities and maintaining alliances, Triple H seemed to have navigated this terrain with ease, gaining the trust of key figures in WWE's front office. It is no secret that Triple H had a close relationship with Vince McMahon, the chairman and CEO of WWE. This relationship would prove to be one of the main factors in Triple H's unparalleled rise in the company. McMahon's trust in Triple H became evident when the wrestler was allowed to marry his daughter, Stephanie McMahon, further intertwining his fate with the company's future direction. While many superstars in the WWE locker room worked hard for their spot on the card, Triple H's proximity to the McMahon family gave him a unique and powerful status. This led some of his peers to view him as someone who could not be challenged, and thus their treatment of him was markedly different. Maven's assertion that everybody just kissed his *** points to the widespread acknowledgement of Triple H's special place in WWE, which sometimes alienated others who felt they had to play by different rules. The era when Triple H began to consolidate power in WWE was also one of significant change for the company. The Attitude Era, which was known for its unpredictable, rebellious nature, eventually gave way to the more corporate-driven, ruthless aggression era in the early 2000s. The shift in company direction placed more emphasis on scripted storylines and character development, as well as a more polished presentation. Triple H, who was already a key figure in the Attitude Era, transitioned seamlessly into this new role, taking a prominent position in the new narrative. At this time, Triple H was no longer just another top-tier wrestler. He was now integral to the creative direction of the company. This shift was pivotal in explaining Maven's comments about Triple H's unique standing among WWE stars. As a powerful figure, Triple H had the ability to dictate the direction of storylines and career paths, not only for himself, but for other wrestlers as well. As Maven put it, some wrestlers treated Triple H with excessive deference, trying to stay in his good graces for fear of the consequences that might come from falling out of favor. But why exactly did this deference occur? Maven's comments hint at the crucial relationship between power and success in WWE. In the world of professional wrestling, where the opportunities for advancement are often limited, staying on the right side of influential people is critical. For a period, Triple H embodied that influence. He became a key decision-maker within WWE, both in terms of creative and business matters. This provided him with the power to elevate or derail the careers of those in the locker room. For example, some of the more politically savvy superstars realized that Triple H's power could be the difference between a spot at the top of the card, or a career spent languishing in the mid-card, or even being relegated to the lower ranks. Triple H had an undeniable influence over major title opportunities, match placement, and involvement in high-profile storylines. It's easy to understand why some wrestlers might go out of their way to stay in his good graces. Maven's comments were not an indictment of Triple H himself, but rather of the system that made it all possible. The backstage culture in WWE often rewards loyalty and relationships, sometimes above talent or merit. This created an environment where not only did wrestlers have to compete for opportunities in the ring, but they also had to navigate a complex web of politics off it. The kissing up behavior Maven referenced was a reflection of how a few key figures in the WWE ecosystem were able to control the fate of so many others. The impact of Triple H's elevated status can still be felt today. As WWE's Executive Vice President of Global Talent Strategy and Development, Triple H has played a significant role in shaping the next generation of WWE superstars through the NXT brand. NXT has become an incubator for some of the biggest stars in WWE today, from Seth Rollins to Charlotte Flair to Roman Reigns, whose careers were carefully molded under Triple H's guidance. However, there are those who still remember the days of backstage maneuvering, where Triple H's influence was felt as both a blessing and a curse. While some stars benefited from his mentorship, others may have felt marginalized or sidelined. Maven's comments serve as a reminder of the complexity of the wrestling industry, one where success is not only measured by talent, but by one's ability to play the game, both inside and outside of the ring. In the end, Triple H's legacy in WWE is not only defined by his championship reigns and accomplishments in the ring, but also by his lasting influence on the corporate and creative structure of the company. Whether you love him or dislike him, his unique position within WWE history is undeniable.